topics, you can put it a theoretical point of view, but this one is hands-on. And it challenges one. It challenges the speaker. It challenges the audience when we begin to look at family issues. Why do I say it challenges the speaker? At times, in a home, you can think that what you are doing is right in your thinking. But the kids are looking at it differently. They say, I wish Daddy could know that he's completely away, out of way. Come on, how together. If you can only ask them and say, how am I doing? Then they will tell you what you had not expected. And you will be more scared to ask the question again, how am I doing? I like the former mayor of New York. And he was a very famous man because he had been re-elected several times. So one of the things that he managed to go back to his people, and if you walk one day on the street and say, people, how am I doing? Then some people say, you are doing great. And some people say, I wish you know how you have embarrassed us. And he said, okay, I want to take your points. And other people say, yes, you have done a good job, but you have done zero. So many times when we look at the issues of family from home perspective, and when kids, and we can ask kids how we are doing, they will tell us stories that we can't. At times we may wonder and say, is this what I'm perceived by my own children? Then you can realize that things are around. Come on, how to get it? Yes, so it is important. You know, this is an area that we learn every day. We make mistakes. We correct those mistakes. And we pray for the grace of the Lord, that we may learn on how to live together with our spouses and our children. So when we began on Sunday, we basically looked at the topic, a sweetheart for lifetime. A sweetheart for lifetime. Now, looking at the sweetheart for lifetime, we did say that one of the life's most thrilling experience is to be in love. Is to be in love. And then another most thrilling experience in marriage is to be loved. We need to be in love and we need to be loved. And that cuts across everybody as a human being. We all need to be loved. In our marriages, we all need to be loved. And people will appreciate to see that we are all in love. And that cuts across the married couples, the singles, and the children. All of us, we are the same path. We need to be loved and we need to be loved. Nowhere can we basically escape. So then, since love is the most misunderstood term, we need to understand it and we need to see how we can guard it. And when we guard it, then we can basically make choices. Good choices. Good choices that will help us in our spiritual growth. And I just want to cite one of the authors by the name Andrei Kostenberger. He wrote on a biblical framework for marriage in Midwest Journal of Theology. He wrote his finding, and he says, it can be said that marriage and family are institutions under siege in our world today. Our very civilization is in crisis. Is in crisis. Now, the current cultural crisis, however, is merely symptomatic of a deep-seated crisis that understand that we are basically under siege. We are in a crisis. We are in a crisis. We are in a crisis because we need to understand this battle that we are fighting. When we don't understand each other at all, we need to know this battle. When our children cannot understand us, we need to understand this battle. When the community cannot understand us, we need to understand this battle. So what he's saying is, cultural crisis is symptomatic of underlying spiritual crisis. So, you know what? Every problem, marital problem we have at home, don't just look at it on a cultural basis. It is a symptomatic. Underlying issues, it is a spiritual. Underlying issues, it is spiritual. And even if as a man you want to walk away, you have not solved the problem. Underlying issues is a spiritual issue. The symptomatic that we are seeing surfacing, people quarrel, surfacing, people disagree in public, surfacing, people fighting, surfacing, and people wanting to part, surfacing. But underlying issue that we need to understand, it is a spiritual problem. Am I talking to somebody? If I'm talking to somebody, can you wave? If I'm talking to somebody, can somebody say amen? Amen. So, the whole problem in our relationship, in our family, it is put into one thing. It's a spiritual crisis. Now, so the solution must be spiritual, not merely cultural. The solution must be spiritual, not cultural. And that is what we saw. We said for us to be together, there are some beats. Beats in life. That these beats play a major role. And Paul was addressing it when we discussed in line with the book of Ephesians. We wanted to see this beats. When you're looking at Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 32, we saw Paul is talking about how to be kind to each other, kind to your spouse. Compassionate. Compassionate, basically, is an attribute that comes from the heart of God. So the moment we embrace it, then we begin to be kind to each other, compassionate to each other. And then there's a mix. When you are walking, you can say, I'm sorry. When we are talking, we can say, I'm sorry. We give each other an opportunity. And this small means listening to each other, appreciating each other, being kind to each other. And this is what we call peace. Very key. In any marriage relationship. And this can be a solution in our Christian journey. And the following day, we look at, is it real love? Or what is it? We saw some examples. Some people fall in love. They get married. Then discover that it really wasn't love that brought them together. Then what do? I'm already in. What do? I've just discovered it is not love that brought us together. What do? Do we part ways? But we have already messed up ourselves. What do?
married. But we are discovering it wasn't really love. So what was it? Because every human being needs love. You seated and looking at me, you need love. And I will stand before you, I need love. Come on, somebody, are we together? So all of us, I need love. Even if you say, this thing doesn't matter, let me just go and do my things at home. My friend, you go. You go. But at the end of the day, you will pay dividends. You pay dividend. And the God, you will pay dividend. Doesn't know you're a pastor, you are an elder, you are a president of Kenya, you are a prime minister. It doesn't know. You are a teacher, head teacher. Yes, it doesn't know. Doesn't know you are a busy accountant in Kisumu. Doesn't know. Come on, somebody. He doesn't know you are a busy woman, a successful woman. Successful career woman. Successful career man. He doesn't know. When you come home, all of us are in the same level. We are all in the same level. Come on, somebody. I thought you would say amen with a lot of anger. All of us are in the same level. We are all desperate in need of love. So every human being, we need love. And we all try to reach out for someone to love us. We all try to reach someone we can love. So you can find love is indeed necessary for survival. Without it, we lose the will to live. Our mental and physical vitality, that's what lessens. Resistance lower. Fatal illness can result. That's why we are sick. Many of the sickness that we are sick of is because of emotional sickness. I want to be loved, but no one loves me. I want to be appreciated, but my husband cannot appreciate me. My wife cannot appreciate me. So we ask God, since it has failed, where can I get it? And some people have decided to say, maybe let me separate. I look for another green pasture. Let me tell you, you are just trying impossibles. Yeah. Even that one you will finish, you will move again. But you will not be satisfied. The only thing that you need is until you come to realization, I need love. And God is the only one who can cause this thing to happen. Come on, somebody, I will get. Whether you are well dressed, perfumed nicely, with nice hair, with nice shoes, arrival from Paris, everything. But that may be outside, outward, which can be deceiving. You need something better. Yeah. Each person is desperately looking for love. To be loved and someone to love. When we experience love, we glow with radiance that affects us physically, mentally, socially, spiritually. When we get it, you can basically see someone's face is changing. The face begins to blossom. Wow. With a smile. Wow. Even some things that you couldn't see, you can begin them beginning to do one, to be visible. Mm-hmm. We did quote Nancy Bell, who is quoting Smelling Blanco in his book, Love or Perish. Come on, somebody. Love or you do what? You perish. If you don't get love, you perish. And for sure, some people are perished. Some people are perished. Now look at this. He says this. For more than 40 years, I have sat in my office and listened while all ages and classes told me there are hopes and fierce. As I look back over the long, full years, 110, a man clearly in my mind. The universal need for love. Come on, somebody. Universal need for what? He has done his research. My elder, what do you need? We need universal love. My sister, what do you need? Nobody will tell you this. What do you need? You need love. And it goes further to say, they cannot survive without love. They must have it or they will perish. They must have it or they will perish. When love fades, relationship falls into ruin. An impossible frustration delude those involved and those around them. When love fades, marriage falls into ruin. Impossible frustration delude those who involved and those around them. Emotional pressure results into other crime, alcoholism, drug addiction, and suicide. Because they are failing to get a fundamental thing that they need, which is love. Yeah. Everybody is in need of love. When you go home, tell your spouse, I need to be loved. It's not a request. I need it. I must get it. And God has put it in you. You have to give it. I hope I'm not creating problems. But anyway, let's see. And people have missed it emotionally. Pressure begins to build. It has resulted into adult crime, alcoholism. Some people turn to alcohol thinking it's a solution. Some people turn to drugs thinking it's a solution. Some people think, maybe let him just commit suicide and go once and for all, thinking it's a solution. It is not a solution. Now, realistically, for if it is unlikely that we will ever be loved as completely as we will ever be loved, as completely as we may wish to be, it is unlikely. Come on. It is unlikely that we ever be loved as completely as we will ever be loved as completely as we may wish to be. So what do we do? You may get 40%, 50%. What do we do? And that's why until we understand the concept of love, and that's why we went to the classical Greek, and we learned some things where this terminology are used of love. That's why we find eros, we find phileo, and then we find agape. And agape was not born until the time of Christ, when Christ came with this word. Because people were using eros. Eros one, to be love between a husband and wife. And eros two, to be the love between human beings and God. And they found they are failing. It is failing. It is failing. And then phileo love, a love of friendship. We love someone, and we saw the condition, the characteristic of all this love. Phileo, eros, it is outward based. Agape love is inward based. Outside based is what someone needs to give to me. But inward based, what can I give to somebody? And that's why you see agape love. Jesus decided to come down and die for us. He gave his life for us. Friends, we need love. We need it. We need to be loved. And then the rest we can combine with what we want to say. We'll combine in what we want to say.
So let me just get about your quick reaction. Any comment before I move to another topic and then get some time for questions and answers. Up where we have reached. Hey, some things are tough. And I know some people say, I wish I was along with the preacher. I would have asked the question. No problem. But if I ask now, my husband is listening. My wife is listening. So what do I do? The young people say, parents are listening. So what do I do? So I'm just trying to contemplate and analyze these points alone. Any question? Any comment? My teacher used to tell me, if people don't ask questions, they have either understood or not. That is the one. Or they have gotten everything. So I will assume that we have gotten everything. So then I will move to the next topic. Any question before I move? Sorry, some of us, we have challenges with eyesight. Just raise up your hand. Okay, there's one hand. Okay. Right there. Please, can you stand and then speak? Then we give it a comment or a question. Please do it. Then we move to the next level.
Thank you. My name is Peter Otieno.
Elder Peter. Good name.
I know everyone needs love, because God is love, of course. But there have been some either cultural issues in our upbringing that will affect us in the future, that love might not be portrayed as underlined in the script. So dealing with it at all age becomes a little bit difficult because you never experience it. And somebody tells you that I want to give you love. And you're wondering, what is this love you're talking about? So how do you deal with such a scenario? If you never experienced it before, but someone now wants to give it to you now.
That's a good one. Now someone wants to give you now. And now you're already cultured differently. And somebody says, you cannot teach the old dog new what? Tricks. So what do we do? That's the question. We have many people here who are analyzing. I know your mind is working extra hard to analyze that question. What do we do? Yeah. Those who are looking down, I'm coming to you. What do you do? Yeah. Nobody wants to talk. Sisters, my sisters, what do we do? Yes. The courageous one. Please stand. Where is Mr. Mike? Yes, Mike Carrier. Okay, do that.
I wouldn't say I'm courageous, but I think the natural human reaction would be suspicious. Because maybe suppose you are married to this man who keeps on beating me every other day, that is how he expresses he loves me, then maybe now he comes and he has changed. I think I'll be suspicious. And if at all he's genuine, that he has accepted Christ into his heart and wants to speak this love language, I think it will also require the grace of God working in my heart for me to accept the expression that he's giving out. Others will be very suspicious and say something is wrong somewhere. I think.
Okay. I can see there's a hand is here. You're bringing an analogy, you are suspicious. Why is this guy behaving very funny? Very funny. Okay. Please can you start?
I may not answer Peter's question, but I just want to, in an attempt to make it more difficult, is so great, it helps me also to understand my side of thought. That when the Bible says, man or husband, love your wife, then woman, wives, submit the husband. Was it that both sides will get what will be summed up as love? When she submits to me, will I be receiving love from her? When I love, will that be the same love that I'm supposed to give? Because what we have been mentioning here, Pastor, I'm trying to say, you said love, 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 love. But probably somebody will say, what is this that you've been talking about? Love. How will the wife understand that now this, my husband, loves me? How would the husband now say, this, my wife, loves me? From the context of what the Bible says, husband, love your wife. Then, wives, submit to your husband. Are they giving you the end result of love to each side?
Okay, just put a note to your question. Let's handle this one. Now, in one of the seminars, a lady basically picked some words, and when she went home, she said she wanted to implement them. Because another sister said, please, let's see how we can be friendly to our husband. And when he comes home, come and receive him. Come and receive him. Then when he goes, escort him. So this lady said, let me try to put this into practice. Then this is what happened. And the husband was ready, wants to go to one. Now, and the husband said, okay, now I'm going. He said, let me take you, escort you up to the car. He said, and the husband asked, what is it? The question of suspicion. What is it? He said, but nothing. I'm only escorting you. But the husband is suspicious. What is it? So that's what we're talking about. How do we remove the suspicion aspect? So this is what we're talking about. How do we remove it? Because the issue here is, now, a man went abroad to study. And the Lord blessed him. He did his undergraduate, he did his second degree, and he did the third degree, and the wife he left at home. Now, when now he came back, he said, and the culture over there abroad, they value flowers. Somebody say amen. They value flowers. So he bought many other gifts. Among many gifts he had bought, he also bought flowers. To bring to the wife the flower, to indicate that I love her. All the gifts were received. All the gifts were received. Now the following day, the lady picked the flowers, began to use it to sweep the house. Oh Lord have mercy. The man looked and said, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. My gift, the flower she's using to sweep the house. Come on, ladies. You know, we are talking about your question still. What do we do? What do we do? The time we just wedded, after wedding, we went to Mombasa for a honeymoon. And when I tried to hold, I wish it could be here, my wife could be here. When I tried to hold her hands, we walked together. She says, look at people, don't hold my hands. So what do we do? This is the issue you're talking about. What do we do? Because the culture is dictating. But now the issue here is, the culture is a way of life. So because it's a way of life, it is upon you to change the culture. Because it's a way of life. And you can basically put your culture in perspective and begin to live. Talk to your wife. Talk to your friend.
it's like we are in a cultural crisis. A cultural crisis. So what do we need to do? Because we're a cultural crisis, it's not just a cultural crisis we are in, it is a symptomatic. The problem is where? Our spirit. We have solemn responsibility. And if it's not working, pray for God to help you to work. Discuss it. Put it in perspective. Now going to know. This is not always. Okay. Going to victory now. Now, God has outlined husbands love your wife. Wives submit to your husband. Now I want you to understand this concept.